Growing up, what would you watch and what did it make you think high school would be like?
I grew up on High School Musical.
I thought my life was gonna be High School Musical.
Yeah. I was like, lunch is gonna be great, flash mobs are real.
Like jumping around on tables and like not learning academics.
I'm thinking that everyone would sing in the cafeteria.
No, didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
All lies. Such a disappointment.
My school was kind of like High School Musical. The principal, he brought out, I don't know where he came from, brought out a guitar and started playing it. And I don't know what's going on here.
They always make prom look so freaking cool on TV.
Give me a Mean Girls prom. Break the crown.
I wanted a Carrie prom.
I watched all of like the UK skins. I really thought that was gonna be my life.
Damn, yo, I saw Perks of Being a Wallflower and
Yeah.
how the hell, like all these high school movies, they always at a restaurant every day.
Yeah, they have their own table.
Money.
High school, for me, was very awkward. It had its ups and downs, for sure.
I got class comedian, of course, and I was walking around singing in the hallways and
Nothing has changed.
nothing has changed.
I was very different in high school than I am on the show. Thank God.
I was young and just an asshole.
I think I was a nightmare when I was a teen.
I kind of didn't go to any of my classes senior year because I went to the bathroom every period and just walked around, you know, but I still feel educated.
I was not that cool in high school. I wish.
I was homeschooled.
I was homeschooled for who knows how long, and then I was just like, I want to do high school, because like, you know, society. So I did, and I hated it. And then I like left, and then I still have friends at that high school who say the freshmen talk about me like I'm some ghost that like haunts, it's fun. But they're like, oh my God, look, she's still haunting us all. Yeah.
I was actually really bullied my first 2 years of high school. There was this one kid. He gave me a Gatorade one time, and I thought it was a kind gesture, and he put 2 laxatives in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I swear.
I was just always very quiet, very into the arts, like keeping to myself.
Like all the activities that were in school, like we did it all. Student committee and like all
Okay.
I did theater.
I was in a lot of like plays,
I was in robotics club, I played tennis, played Magic the Gathering.
danced. Wasn't very good at it, but it was a choice.
I did cheer and I did acting. I really did. You didn't know that?
Art club, like Future Farmers. Like I was just in so many different weird. Like
Sierra's a future farmer.
in Georgia, they had a Future Farmers Club of America. Yes.
Girl, what you growing in that garden?
Look.
No, I just kind of jumped around from all the different social groups. Like I never really fit in with one.
Because I had all my sports friends and my musician friends, and I was kind of pulled in between, and I think it's very easy when you're younger to feel insecure about those things and try to make a decision of where you fit.
I feel like I didn't know who I was, so I constantly was just trying to be whoever was around me. Like I was like, oh, I could be preppy this week, and then next week I'll discover Slipknot and go through an angsty phase. Like I feel like I went through a lot of discovery in high school.
With this show that I think is really nice is that it kind of shows you could fit wherever, that you don't have to be, you know, a square peg in a square hole. You could be whatever.
I think the most challenging thing is like you feel so incredibly lonely. You don't have like the language to express how you really feel because you're just navigating all of these feelings for the first time. And even if you have like a really great group of girlfriends or, you know, guy friends, whatever, it's just you don't know how to express yourself that well.
And you also don't know who you really are.
Exactly, exactly.
It's so debilitating that you think you know
exactly
who you are.
I never had a stronger sense of self than I did when I was 15 or 16.
You think you know best. You
That's
think
what makes you
Yeah,
just like, this is who I am.
Everyone's trying to act so much more confident than they actually are. Like you're all just trying to figure it out, but you look at everyone else and they seem to have it figured out and you're like, oh God, I need to know who I am. When you're like 15, 16 and you've got a whole life ahead of you, there's so much time for that.
I definitely feel like you couldn't be anything new. And that comes from the idea that people are scared of new. And if you are new and you are different, that scares people and they're like, okay, you're weird. And now you're suddenly an outcast, which is a teenager's worst nightmare.
But when you're queer in high school, it's like our very existence is something that like hasn't really been like shown well in like YA.
At least certainly not when I was a kid.
I feel like there's a lot more representation in the show of a lot of different subcultures and groups.
Our show specifically covers the demographic, I think, of people of color.
Everyone in it is so diverse, all the novices, they're not all like each other.
Like Lolitas, you know,
The
colors,
ladies,
South
the
Asians,
ladies.
the ladies, us lovely human beings here.
And I don't think I saw that represented a lot in the way that it is done in our show, whereas it's done through comedy.
I think also so many shows, people that looked like us played everybody's friend and was never like, we were always a side story and never the A story. So the fact that, you know, there's an entire generation of kids that get to see themselves as the leaders of their own stories, I mean, means everything to us.
I'm like one of the first non-binary people on like a popular show. Like it is exactly what it is, where it's like I didn't have me, I didn't have someone to look at me like, I relate to you, like I relate to Gimli more than I related to like anybody else. And so it's like, I truly didn't have that. So to be that now is just like a full circle, like, thank you Because
it does matter. I mean, it really does. Like when you see yourself represented as a hero in every single film, you just think that you are the hero. And then if you don't see that ever, you kind of
you're
just
seen as
internalize
the
those
villain.
things.
Right.
Those things, and I just feel like representation really does matter. Just to see yourself as somebody else and your own possibility is a really cool thing.
For Fabiola, the mental aspect of questioning your sexual orientation, it's difficult, especially if it's for the first time ever. You start to think about it. It's something that a lot of teenagers go through. The mental aspect of that can be a lot.
I think we talk about mental health. That's something that I never was. I don't think mental health was talked about when I was in high school.
Not so as openly.
Yeah.
No.
Not even like in entertainment especially, but also like definitely not in school.
With Davy, you know, clearly she's dealing with the loss of her dad, who truly was her #1 supporter. And we see how she herself pretends like it's not a big deal. She repeatedly says that to her therapist. But that's the case for a lot of kids, because they don't get to unpack it, and especially for kids who don't have that space where it's acceptable to even try and unpack it. So Davy's here pushing it away. I feel like that's something that a lot of kids do when you're unsure and you're deep down really sad and scared.
This show, I'm Not Okay With This, really juggles themes of accepting yourself and actually being okay with who you are. That's something maybe not everyone was able to do in the past.